and the developments in Bangladesh after the unprecedented circumstances developed there, with Sheikh Hasina resigning and fleeing from the country. So after the toppling of Sheikh Hasina's government in Bangladesh, the situation there remains quite grim even now. Many panicked Bangladeshi nationals are now trying to cross the border and enter India for safe haven. On Friday, tensions prevailed at the Sitalkuchi fenced border area of Kuch Bihar district in West Bengal after nearly 1,000 people gathered on the other side of the fence in their bid to cross over to India and seek refuge. The attempt was, however, foiled by the BSF, which maintained a strict vigil at the border. These people were later removed from the spot by the border guards. Bangladesh personnel, the BSF troops conducted night patrolling along the Indo-Bangladesh international border in West Bengal. Meanwhile, hundreds of people protested in Bangladeshi capital Dhaka, and this is on Friday, against violence targeting the country's minority Hindus, since former Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina quit and fled the country earlier this week. A school teacher, in fact, was killed, and at least 45 people injured as homes, businesses and temples of Hindus in Bangladesh were targeted following Hasina's resignation on Monday. Large crowd gathered outside the United Nations headquarters in New York, demanding protection for Hindus and other minorities in Bangladesh. Indian-American Congressman Raja Krishnamurthy has written to the U.S. Secretary of State Anthony Blinken, urging him to assist the Bangladeshi government in ending the violence against Hindus in the country. Alarmed at the sudden rise of violence against Hindus in Bangladesh, Indian-American Congressman Sri Thanedar Friday said that he will not stop until the minority community gets justice. Let's take a look, in fact, at what's been said by him.
Friends, this is Congressman Sri Thanedar. Just wanted to let you know that I have gotten a lot of reports on the atrocities in Bangladesh. The attacks on the minority Hindus is totally unacceptable. I am in touch with the State Department and authorities across the world. I am on top of it, and we will not stop until all of these things is addressed. We need justice for the minority Hindus and all these heartbreaking activities. This has to stop, and I'm top of it. Just wanted to let you know. Thanks. This is Congressman Sri Thanedar. If you have any questions, you can reach my office, thanedar.house.gov. Thanks. Bye.
Back in India, the RSS General Secretary Dattatreya Hosable said that cruelties such as targeted killings, looting, arson and heinous crimes against women belonging to the Hindu community and other religious minorities, as well as attacks against Hindu temples in Bangladesh, are intolerable. RSS has urged the Modi government to ensure safety of the Hindus in Bangladesh. Meanwhile, in an interview with the son of the former Bangladesh Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina, Sajib Wazir Joy, he expressed gratitude to Prime Minister Narendra Modi for his government's quick action following the developments in neighboring country, which led to her fleeing and taking shelter in India. However, he dismissed rumors that his mother has applied for asylum, stating that she has no such intentions and plans to retire to her village home in Bangladesh, regardless of her political status.
Bangladesh as a civil society fails to accommodate the interest of the religious minorities?
You know, the problem is the history. Historically, the politics in Bangladesh, unfortunately, the way it has evolved, it has been extremely sharp and uh, uh, sharp and strong. I mean, the sense of accommodation towards the other parties, which should be there in a normal democracy, uh, was not there. And when one party, the BNP, was in power, they mistreated the others. When the other party, the Awami League, was in power, same thing happened with other parties. So that is something that should change, because ultimately, Bangladesh should not go the Pakistan way. Bangladesh should charter its own course, its own way. And the example of the past 2 decades has shown that Bangladesh can prosper by having good relations with its neighbors, particularly India, large economy, which is intimately connected to Bangladesh. India has tried its best to give preferential treatment in
Okay.
terms of power, in terms of trade, in terms of communication, transport facilities, and so on. I mean, Bangladesh and India are intimately tied and linked, and we should take advantage of this rather than sort of cursing India, or rather than criticizing India, or mistreating the Hindu community, or mistreating those who have been close to India in whatever ways. So I think we hope that the new interim government would be able to chart a course which would
Okay.
ensure
Okay.
the progress and prosperity and
Okay.
stability.
Okay. There are two things here. One, the appeal by the Indian Prime Minister Modi and his concern over the religious minorities being attacked, one. And secondly, the sort of statement which came from a senior BNP functionary saying that the relationship in context of Hasina can see turbulence because she's in India, but India as a liberal democracy has done it all throughout its life. Dalai Lama is the best example. Aung San Suu Kyi studied in New Delhi. India has hosted various
Thank.
leaders, sir. Mr. Kabir.
Oh, yes. Thank you very much. Yes, we welcome the statement made by Prime Minister Modi yesterday following the formation of the interim government led by Professor Mohammad Yunus. We are in an extraordinary situation. We must understand the context. The context was the people's uprising against a kind of, if I may put it, borrowing from others, a kind of period of misgovernance, mistreatment, torture, and eventually the killing of around 400. And today's report saying that during the last 23 days, 700 people died in Bangladesh, including policemen. So you understand the kind of situation that we were in just 5 days before. So against that background, I mean, you have to. I invite my Indian friends to understand that this is a kind of turbulence that we had to face, and in that context, we are as concerned about the minorities as other communities as well, because when the law and order situation becomes little uncertain, that affects everybody. So I can assure you that whatever I could understand from the initial pronouncements by Professor Yunus, and also today the cabinet met and advisory committee met, and then I heard the press briefing. They prioritized the restoration of law and order as number one priority. And I think it is not only the government, the military has prioritized that issue. All other forces have prioritized that issue. And the major driver of this time, the student community, the student leaders, they have also prioritized that issue. And in fact, they have formed student squads in throughout the country.
My message to the government of India, first of all, is my personal gratitude to Prime Minister Modi for his government's quick action in saving my mother's life. That is, I am eternally grateful to. My second message is that India needs to take a leadership role in the world not let other foreign powers dictate the situation because this is India's neighborhood, this is India's eastern side. It is a proven track record that no one can deny that the Awami League government, Sheikh Hasina's government, kept peace in Bangladesh, kept economic growth, stopped insurgency, and kept the eastern side of our subcontinent stable. We are the only government that has proven we can do it. No one else has. Other governments have tried, they have failed. So if you want stability and security, your best bet is the Awami League. Now, obviously, you cannot directly support a party, but what you can do is support and demand democracy, which is and constitutional democracy, which is elections within 90 days. If elections are held within 90 days, I am confident that the Awami League will still win. And that is the only thing that will ensure stability in Bangladesh, security, and protection of the minorities. That is the only thing that will ensure it.
Because it's a two-pronged question. One is in the context of the religious minorities, and the Prime Minister Modi has spoken, explicit and clear. And the second is about India hosting leaders. We have hosted so many leaders. It's a perceptual thing. Dalai Lama is here. Senior Sri Lankan leaders stayed here. Aung San Suu Kyi studied in this country, went back. And so can Sheikh Hasina. In fact, India boasts of it.
No, I would say I don't think it should be taken that seriously, what has been said by the BNP. At the end of the day, BNP is not in power. BNP is not the government of the day. And, the movement had been led by the students, and they are in charge, of the entire movement. So BNP, may have contributed to it. But basically, as the student leaders have made it clear that, the movement had been fought not for any particular party. If it was fought for the BNP, then BNP would have been in power. My fear is, I think, Mr. Gayesh is misreading the situation. The situation is still evolving. I think one of the key facts which you have to keep in mind is that people in Bangladesh are tired of both the BNP and the Awami League. They are tired of Sheikh Hasina and Begum Jia quarreling over the issue, and people have been trying to, bring out some kind of a third party or third force for a long period of time, and it has not happened because of the repression by both the parties. And for the first time, I think there is a group of people who are in power who do not belong to the Awami League or the BNP, and he should be careful that tomorrow they might not be, they might be complaining against the government of the day in Bangladesh, and Awami League and the BNP may have to come together to fight against the government of the day, because BNP is looking at elections in 3 months' time. That's their declaration. And I don't think you can have the election in 3 months' time, because it will take some time for the government to restore the situation, to bring some confidence. So some political leaders somewhere saying it reflects possibly the point of view of the BNP.
There's a lot that's happening in our neighboring nation at this given point. We're keeping a track of the developments. We've consistently been speculating what does the future hold for Bangladesh, which government shall take over, while it is being led by an interim government currently under Mohammad Yunus.